I used to come up to Hood River to enjoy the water sports, primarily windsurfing, kiteboarding, and come up for mountain biking and such, and it's just such a spectacular area. I always dreamt of having a place up here. So I started looking probably 15 years ago for a location. Over a long period of time and a long process of looking at different properties, eventually I stumbled across Underwood Mountain. Saw vineyards on the way up, spectacular views looking back down at Hood River. Found this parcel up here for sale and wanted to buy it, but I waited for about 6 years until I felt like it was the right time, and then made a deal with the owner and ended up buying what was left of a pear orchard.
Wannamaker Estate Vineyard sits on 25 acres of breathtaking views of Mount Hood, nestled in the heart of the Columbia Gorge wine-growing region. Known as a special place that produces world-class wines, the Columbia River Gorge is also one of the nation's premier spots for windsurfing and kiteboarding, two all-time favorite recreation sports for locals and tourists.
I was fortunate enough to find 25 acres with a little old house on it, little old cabin, and thought it was spectacular, and that's how I came across the property. I saw the cabin, and it had been migrant worker housing for 30 plus years, and there hadn't been much maintenance done to it, and so it needed a lot of work. And most people assumed that whoever bought this parcel would tear down the little cabin, but it was built so well in 1952, has old growth timber beams and beautiful tongue and groove ceiling. So to me, that was just all original fir trees, and it was well worth renovating the house around saving the ceiling, basically. And so then I started working on that concept, and then put a lot of time and effort into, with some help of course, into a lot of details within the house and redoing it and bring it up into what is now a modern standard, but it's sort of a 50s aesthetic. I grew up having access to wilderness, and so I love spending time in the wilderness. It's some of my favorite time as a kid. And so I kept thinking, I want to be able to have access to wilderness. Once I purchased the property and decided to make it into a vineyard, I wanted to move quite quickly. It turns out that Underwood Mountain is a dormant volcano, and so the soil is spectacular, and it's very acidic. It's a beautiful soil for growing a very particular type of Chardonnay. And so primarily, I have the majority of my fruit will be Chardonnay, but I also have a nice select section or block of Pinot Noir, which is where we're sitting now. It's a beautiful grape, and I think I have 4 acres of Pinot. Planting a vineyard, I decided to do that quickly, primarily because I didn't want to take years to establish the fruit. The vines take quite a long time before they mature and start producing usable fruit. Part of the process of building the Pinot Noir was to have it with a little more horsepower than many of them, a little more masculine Pinot Noir, which also is inspired by the land and the position of the vineyard. What we do is we come out and we always look at the plants and check the health of the plants, and then continue on and head into the forest. We have a lot of forest beside us, and so we've created hiking trails in there. There's log bridges that go across a creek, and we're in there catching snakes, catching frogs, whatever, lizards, all sorts of things. And so I really enjoy that idea that over a period of time, families can come out here, the parents can sit and watch the plants grow, enjoy a glass of Pinot Noir or Chardonnay, and the kids will just be running around, getting dirty, having fun. And then as a family, they'll go for a hike in the woods and circle back and continue to enjoy their time here at Wannamaker Estate Vineyards and enjoy the adventure aspect of a vineyard. So I like the rough nature of the woods beside it. Part of the process of building the Pinot Noir was to have it with a little more horsepower than many of them, a little more masculine Pinot Noir, which also is inspired by the land and the position of the vineyard. At night, there is no light pollution, so we turn the lights off in the cabin, and the stars are spectacular. You can see every star in the sky. And so the hot tub has become a community hot tub where it's not unusual for friends to come and sit in the hot tub for about 3 hours at night, just enjoying looking up the stars, having another glass of wine, and just enjoying the conversations and letting it float through. And it's a spectacular experience.
Visit us at WannamakerEstateVineyard.com.